If you've looked at your watch or you've looked down at your calendars, it is that time of the month at Tech Yes City, where it's at the end of the month, and that means a used PC parts hunt. So I woke up early this morning, took a look on Facebook Marketplace, put a heap of offers on different parts, whether it's power supplies, DDR4, DDR5 memory, motherboard combos, i7, Ryzen 7, Ryzen 5, just cycling through the usual suspects, as well as anything like a broken PC or whatever. I'm on it if the price is right. And so the only person who's gotten back to me so far is actually an X99 motherboard and a Ryzen B450 combo, where I put in an offer for $90 on this Ryzen combo, and they said, look, if someone doesn't come and pick it up, you can have it. And then for the X99 motherboard, I'm trying to work them down in price a little bit, but they're pretty firm on their asking price. But the thing is, I'm really keen to get a proper X99 motherboard, because the last one I had, I flipped it, always in a gaming PC, never turned down a flip. That's the golden rule of used PC parts flipping, but I just need one because I'm very curious about the performance, especially since I've been rocking quite a few of these AliExpress budget X99 boards. So I do want to do some just relative comparisons, as well as check out how well say a 5820K performs in 2025 when it's like clocked to the rim. So I'm definitely keen to get my hands on a solid X99 board. But with that said, we have to hit the road right now and go see this first contact that's come up. And what they've got for us is a few off parts. Basically, they're parts that have got some little problems with them. They're not entirely sure what's wrong with them, but they're gonna do a discount. That's Aiden. He was in a previous parts hunt when we met up with him off a deal that we sort of contacted him about, and he ended up having a few more parts. So hopefully this one pans out with some really good deals, because last time I did get some really good deals off him. I'll put the link to that episode up here if you guys wanna see it. But with that aside, let's go jump in the Tech Yes Mobile right now, go get these deals. And also we've got the recycling center too, which the person's contacted me with a really juicy deal. You want to see that too, but let's do all that right after today's video sponsor.
Do you need to get Windows activated and don't want to spend stupid amounts of money on a key? Well, if that's you, then today's video sponsor, SCD Keys, has you covered. For as little as $21 for Windows 11 Pro or $13 for Windows 10 Enterprise, you can get activated instantly. And also, don't forget to use the coupon code BFTYC for a big juicy discount. Links in description below.
It's just the GPUs. I don't know why some GPUs work, some don't.
Okay, interesting. I'll check it out, brother. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. And the Max Down, I mean, it literally works fine. You just can't get into the BIOS.
This one here?
Yeah, literally.
So you can't get into the PC's BIOS, like when you boot up the PC?
Yeah, so what happens is it will load into the BIOS.
Yeah.
And then it will just freeze. And you've got to restart the computer.
So you can show me right now?
Yeah, sure.
That's weird. Dude, you got some PC parts that got problems I've never seen.
Yeah, I know. I was looking online and apparently
it's a crypto mining? Like I've seen some bizarre stuff like that with crypto mine.
The board's like brand new, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it's been sitting for a year, but it was like...
What's the comments say? Like...
Don't know. Literally...
Oh, people have no idea.
Yeah,
what...
I've been looking online for everywhere. Like Reddit, like... Tom's Hardware, no one knows, man.
I'll give it a crack for you, bro. I'll let you know.
But it boots in the Windows fine, as you just saw.
Yeah.
I was running stress tests on that. The same RX 6600 I'm letting go as well.
Okay, yeah. All right, sweet ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a look at it.
So like, you can hit an arrow key or just a straight?
It just freezes and you got to reset it. Like this happens. And then like everything's just frozen.
And
that's it.
It happens on another motherboard as well, or just this motherboard?
Just this one.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when you get to this frozen, you just got to restart it, and it'll boot back into Windows.
Okay.
Yeah. So the only problem, I guess, would be you can't run like overclocking on the RAM.
My guess would be it's just the CSM, the UEFI CSM.
Potentially.
Yeah, it needs compatibility support module.
Okay.
But there's sometimes the newer systems just disable it, and then
interesting.
If you don't have it on,
that's weird.
Yeah, it'll freeze like this. But then for some reason, it's miraculously making it to Windows. Like it's just that's a weird one. So
it skips.
I've seen some weird stuff with especially the Mac, just these knockoff brands kind of thing. Yeah. Weird issues like that because the big four just patch it straight away.
Yeah.
All right, let's hand over the 200.
Easy.
So this first deal that we've just picked up here is from Aiden. We went into their place, really nice guy, easy to get along with, and he's always just straight up front with me, telling me, look, the stuff works, but he wasn't too sure what exactly the problem is. It's just a little intricate problem, and he's more focused on flipping higher end systems. So of course, when you look at higher end builds, you just can't have any little problems. But for me personally, I love getting into the bottom of what these problems exactly are and knowing how to fix them. So for this board here, the B450, or actually it's a B550 from Asus, the Tough Gaming, they said it's having a problem where it just doesn't accept RTX 5000 series cards. They've updated the latest BIOS. And so we're going to give that a whirl and see exactly what is wrong with this board. But outside of that, it works absolutely fine. But then we've got here an RX 6600, which they're saying has this weird issue where, coupled in with this B650 Maxon that we got off him, all this, by the way, for $200 with a 1000-watt power supply. So pretty solid deal. But he said basically this RX 6600 here, it won't boot into the BIOS and allow you to change any settings. So essentially with the B650 motherboard it's coupled with, it just won't allow you to lock in XMPs, for instance, which is a big, I guess, performance loss if you can't get your RAM speeds up. And so he just said, look, I can sell you this cheap with the B650 since I don't know exactly what is wrong, but I do have a feeling I will try some things with it. We'll get this back to the studio a bit later tonight, see what we can do in terms of if it's an easy problem to fix, or perhaps it is maybe some sort of a firmware bug or something like that, maybe in conjunction with just those two particular parts just with one another, or perhaps it's something else. But curious to, I don't know why, but I enjoy just trying to figure out what these problems exactly are and how we can fix them. Anyhow, time is of the essence right now. We picked up this first deal, awesome. We got to keep moving though, because we got to stop off at Les's because Les has to get surgery tomorrow and he'll be out for a couple of weeks. And so he told me, look, this is the last day I'm going to be able to wheel and deal. So I said, sure, man, I'll pop on through anyway and wish you all the best and all that good stuff. Catch up with my buddy as well as see what deals he has installed.
I haven't got any graphics. Only graphics cards I've got are Quadros.
Yeah, see, I mean, they're just, yeah. I mean, there was one elusive one you had. You had these nice little Fire Pros or whatever. And they're actually pretty decent. I was using them in like real low-end bangers.
I think they're gone.
So we just now finished up at Les's, and if you can tell by the tone of my voice, I am in a hurry because we do have to scoot to an X99 deal very quickly right now. And then after that, a recycling center deal. And it's all like punched in within a certain time frame. But just at Les's, we ended up getting a OEM HP PC, which was an i7 6700 SSD, RAM, and all that. He's giving me the spill. I'm like, look, brother, I'll take it just as a good vibe before your surgery. And we did that for 140 Aussie dollars. And he also did us just a heap of RAM sticks and threw in some bonus, like really good HDMI cables, or I needed a really long one. And also he had some little Wi-Fi cards as well. So everything all up ended up being about 220 Aussie dollars. So I'll put the USD pricing up on the screen for you guys, as always, with the deals that we're picking up here. So certainly not the volume of deals that I'm used to getting versus, say, previous parts hunts from Les. But regardless, I'll still take a deal whenever I can get one. But with that said, let's jump in the Yesmobile, go get that X99 combo. So now we just picked up the X99 and i7-5820K, as well as the 32 gigabytes of RAM. It's got a little bit weird. The whole thing looked just so immaculate in the photos, but then it looks a little bit dirtier in person. But he assures me it just works like 110%. He said he just pulled it out and upgraded his system. So we are going to do some more X99 experimentation at Tech Yes City, but for 200 Aussie dollars, it's really not that great of a deal. The only reason I was keen on it is because I want a solid X99 motherboard, and they're actually pretty hard to come by, this one. Actually, I did a video recently with X99, and I did a search for X99 combos in that video, and this one didn't show up in that video. This was like the cheapest one that's only come up recently. So I was like, you know what, kind of am really curious because I've been flipping quite a bit of X99 budget boards like the Soyo World Premiere and stuff like that. So figuring cross-referencing this just recently against those boards in just like one video, I think that'd be pretty cool as well, because I just really want to know that information. But yeah, not the best deal, certainly, versus what we first got and what we got from Les. But speaking of deals, there is the next destination here, which we have to go pick up in terms of probably the best deals yet. And that is the recycling center. They've contacted me. They said, look, would you be keen to come through later this month? And I just said, look, probably can come through on Tuesday. And they're like, yeah, that'll do. So we're going to go hit that up right now before it gets too late. And hopefully we can beat highway traffic on the way back home too, if everything goes smoothly. So let's go hit this up right now and see what deals are installed for us at the recycling center.
So that's our CPU I was talking about. So that's
Yep. What do you want for it, man? Just straight up. Give me a
$50.
Yeah, done, dude.
Alright, write it down. That was, I forget, 9980 or something. Okay, then I got 16 gig RAM modules. Those 6, no, those 8s.
Whatever, I'll take them all. Yeah, DDR4. So is it 8s?
6 8, so there's 8 DDR4, 8 gig. Times 8, times each.
You supply Les with the DDR4 too, yeah? Yeah, because he sells me at $12. Like he's like,
That's a cheap item.
That's what I
$20,
mean. But that's what I was
pretty
gonna say. You don't have the small form factor brackets for these, do you?
Why do you want small form factor brackets?
Because that's what they're good for, like.
Yeah, I suppose,
Yeah.
true.
What's this shit? Interesting.
Oh, that's i7 6th gen. I don't know if you want it. It's board.
How much do you want for them?
Oh, so that
Like, I'll take them.
So now we just got back to the Tech Yes studio, actually about 10 minutes ago, because I've got a really, really good deal. It's going to be probably one of the best deals I have got in the history of Tech Yes City, and that is the i9 9980XE, which we got this for 50 Aussie dollars. So I knew months ago, actually, I don't exactly know when I got this X299 motherboard. It was in one of the parts hunts in Japan. And I remember when I was looking for X299 motherboards, I was like, man, that was such a good price on an X299 motherboard in Japan. I was like, I can't turn that down. And if I ever come into a really good price on a 7th, 9th, or 10th gen X299 CPU, I'm going to grab it. And sure enough, here we've got the budget motherboard, the budget CPU, and then I also got a heap of DDR4 16GB RAM sticks from my contact recycling center. And I've used 4 of those in this motherboard, booted it all up, and it already works. So we basically got back over an hour ago from the recycling center, and there's where I got just heaps of good deals. We'll go through them quickly with you guys, but I wanted to race back and get ahead of the highway traffic, the afternoon traffic, which from about 3 o'clock just gets absolutely tankers. So I managed to just beat that, got stuck in a little bit of it, but here we're back here, got back, had to boot this up and see if the X299 combo would work at this price with this $50 CPU, because it is untested. They don't know if it works. And I'm like, I'm gonna take a gamble on it, but it works. And so that is just an insane deal. But overall, I ended up spending 515 Aussie dollars here. I got a heap of 16 gigabyte sticks of DDR4 memory. Always need DDR4 memory, and when it's good prices, we're gonna pay for it. Just like even off Les, he's charging $12. I'll pick some up off him too. But here we've got here 8 gigabyte sticks. We pay from the sheet, there's $10 a piece. And then we've got an i7 7700, which we got for 25 Aussie dollars. So that's pretty cheap for a 7th gen i7. I'm not gonna turn that down. In fact, when they're offering stuff, even if it's a little bit over what I'd pay at the recycling center, I'm always just gonna pay it anyway, because when it always just balances out well in my favor with deals like this i9 right here. Anyhow, beside that was some i7 6th gen motherboard combos with the motherboards. Now I've just put the RAM in then and quickly tested them up, and they all booted up. So we ended up getting them for $30 a piece. So motherboard fan and the i7 6700s, and they work both fine. They even come with the IO shields, which is pretty cool. Then behind that is a couple of 1050 Ti's with no PCIe power connector requirements. They were just asking $15 each for these. I said, sure, I'll take the both of them, because without a PCIe connector is always handy on a real budget, like super low end build. And then after that, we've got some 23-inch monitors, 5 of those with the stands. And then we've also got 2 of the 24-inch models with the stands too. So they're a bit better And these are all pretty decent monitors. Like they're definitely, for these prices, they're really good. So that was a tally from the recycling center. Of course, when I'm there, I just quickly grab a heap of cables, as many as I can, especially power cables, because I'm always running short of them. And in total, this is just an absolute winner, this i9. I can't stop looking at this deal. But what we're gonna do right now is go on Gumtree and Facebook, scan for some more deals, see what comes up on the market, because I'm just really, this stuff just makes me crazy happy when I get deals like this. X299 combo right here, just done, whipped up, man. That's like the cream right there. We just scoop that right off the top, this whole deal. But we're gonna go do that right now. Hopefully some deals come up. And also we are going to test through some of those unknown parts, especially that first deal we got. And we'll just double check that X99 deal too. So let's get on with all that right now. And we've got some relatively good news. Most of it's good news. The X99 board and the RAM and the CPU, that all checks out. Booting to BIOS, absolutely fine. Even with a 5060 Ti, so no problems there, because this is important to mention the 5060 Ti testing on the X99 board, because it's kind of embarrassing that the B550M Tough Gaming from Asus does indeed not work with a 5000 series, RTX 5000 series, in terms of trying to boot up the PC. Now, I did connect another GPU to it. That was a 1660 Super, booted up fine, and then I went in and turned on CSM, tried it in both legacy and then UEFI mode, and still absolutely no signal coming out of the 5000 series, which means it's a bug from the Asus BIOS team. They have to update that to support the RTX 5000 series cards. And so in the building industry, basically my dad's a builder, and he tells me, you know, sometimes you get cowboys out on building sites and it kind of shows things don't work out properly. Maybe, just maybe, Asus's BIOS team have employed a cowboy there to design some of the firmware code, who knows. But whatever we're seeing there, we have a bit of an issue, and they need to fix that with a BIOS update. But outside of that, the motherboard is absolutely fine. The RTX 3060 will go with a Ryzen 5 3600, and I have one of, and I'm gonna sort of interlude here, a bit off topic, but we've got one of the most beautiful RAM jams I have seen in a motherboard to date. We've got there in the BIOS 4 different 8GB sticks, all working fine to boot up into the BIOS there. So that's when you need a budget, nice 32GB flip, you can always rely on a budget RAM jam, guys. Don't forget. Then we move on to the problematic parts. At least one of them actually is problematic. It has a legit issue. Something doesn't work properly, because the RX 6600 straight away tried that on my test system, and that is working absolutely fine. Goes into the BIOS, BIOS moves fine. Benchmark firmware just runs absolutely fine, pegging to 100% or near 100%. So no problems with that RX 6600, which is pretty good, because that was one of the most important parts of the deal, the GPU, and being a half decent GPU, and then having that B450 work out, as well as this 1000-watt power supply, makes it so that the deal's pretty good. It's just that this B650, I did want it to work, but there is something like seriously wrong here, where I don't know what happened before. It was getting to Windows and booting fine, but there's something corrupt here. Perhaps the BIOS is corrupt, or something is inherently faulty there, because I will try to install just a Windows that's got a pre-install on it, see if I can bypass the BIOS boot like Aiden was doing. But basically this time around at my studio here, I've put in 2 RAM DIMMs of DDR5, and we've put in a 7800X3D, mounted a cooler, and then we've also taken out the Wi-Fi and took out the battery. And this was the weirdest thing. I've never seen, in the whole time I've been doing PCs, I've never seen a battery, when I pulled it out, have a sticker on the other side and then be actually active as a battery. So that was kind of weird. I took the sticker off and hoping that would have fixed the issue, but it didn't fix the issue on this motherboard. It was still just booting into BIOS straight away, but then shutting off, which I was kind of like, oh, well, I kind of wish it would just freeze in the BIOS, because as soon as it goes into the BIOS and it shuts off, it does indicate that there's some kind of fault with this board inherently, because there's the mouse, basically, which has RGB, that turns on and it cuts off. So it looks like we've got a B650 here that needs, at the very least, an ultrasonic clean, which I'll go through this next time I'm ultrasonic cleaning parts. I'll throw this one into the pile and see if we can get a fix for it, like a proper fix. Outside of that, I do believe something would be faulty. Maybe, just maybe, I could pair it with a real budget CPU like a 7500F and a 3600 and just say, hey, you know, get some JDEC 2666 memory from the get-go and just say to the person, look, here's a budget PC. You just can't get into the BIOS and tune anything. So that's a possibility as well, end game. But ultimately, is it kind of worth it? I don't know. Do let us know in the comments what you guys think about that one in particular. But overall, getting a 1000-watt power supply, RX 6600 and a B550 for 200 Aussie dollars is still a pretty solid deal. Though going forward from here, I did message a heap of people about parts, mainly graphics cards this time around. A few did come up. And we've got a RTX 3060 12 gigabyte that, well, I hope it's a 12 gigabyte. It says it's the LHR, which I'm pretty sure is the 12 gigabyte. They said they were asking 300. I put in an offer of 250. They said, look, can you give me more? I'm like, no, it's a single fan edition. So it looks like we're going to get that for 250. Then they said they had some other parts available and it was all like RX 470. And I'm just thinking, man, I don't even want to haggle for an RX 470 nowadays. It's just really, I've got enough, even like in today's big deal. I don't know if I said this yet, but we got like 2 GTX 1050 Ti's for $15. And they're 4 gigabyte models. They're no PCIe connectors. So they're really valuable for sort of real budget end flips as opposed to an RX 470, which I've just had in the past. The highest failure rates of any GPUs that have come through my studio has been the good old RX 400 and 500 series. So it's kind of like, no, I'll avoid that one. But then they had a motherboard there. It looked like a really ancient motherboard. And even then I was talking to the person at Recycling Center and they were telling me, look, man, I know as well. He's like, you're not interested in i7 3rd gen anymore. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of getting phased out, even like on the lowest end, just because of how cheap even 4th gen i7s are now. So it's kind of moving into that. Me personally, I'm moving more towards DDR4 builds anyhow and higher because I think a lot of people are just looking for that personally. But yeah, when it comes to the other stuff that this guy had, essentially back to topic here, it was like, I'm really only interested in his power supply and his RTX 3060. So hopefully we can score a good deal on the power supply too. He said, how much would you offer for it? I said, $20. So, and I said, does it have the cables? He's like, yes, it does. So hopefully that pans out. And then we've also got an i5 14400F that I'm looking at. I've got to put in an offer, but I didn't even know how much an i5 14400F is. Like i5 14400F, yes. I don't even know how much they're worth nowadays because 12400Fs, I can get them sometimes for even for as low as like $100. And then you've got cheap Ryzen's there as well. So really interesting times. I think it looks like parts are starting to come down, especially this month. I have been seeing some pretty good deals on a lot of different things and kind of looking back and like, man, I know I overpaid for X99. Don't tell me in the comments. I already know I did that. And I want to really have a fun time with X99 in the next couple of weeks. Because one thing is an update as well, like behind the scenes, I've been having a lot of personal stuff going on. It's really been frustrating, but that has been, at least the big part of it has been solved. I will update you guys in due time when I'm ready to talk about this whole situation. It's just absolutely nuts, but I will update you guys. I will tell you guys everything that's gone behind the scenes. It was just like a lot of different things all happened at once, and it was just like a pile-on effect. And so then I just realized, man, I got to do what I do best, and that's just keep on moving on. Keep on. And that's what we always do. But, you know, sometimes you just hit too many hurdles and you just got to like take some time to get back on your feet. And so that's kind of what happened this time around. But anyhow, let's get some rest now because we've been testing this stuff. We've been looking at parts and doing all that stuff. We'll get some rest. We'll get up in the morning and we'll have a quick morning check as well. And hopefully something comes out of all that. We can get even more deals tomorrow. But I'll keep you guys posted. So we're now the next day and actually the next evening, and we've got a couple of deals to pick up right here as well as one that is potentially on the table. I did look through Gumtree and Facebook high and low. I did find a potential DDR5 deal outside of the next DDR5 deal that we're going to pick up. But anyway, in my hand, we've got an RTX 3060 here, 12 gigabyte model, and we got this for $250 after some tough, stiff negotiations. But that's in the bag, and they assured me it works, picked it up from their place, and then we are now actually going to go scoot over and pick up a 32 gigabyte kit of DDR5 memory for 60 Aussie dollars. Now, funny thing about DDR5 memory, there was actually recently Aiden, he told me his supplier of DDR5 memory said that DDR5 was going to go up quite a bit in price in the next coming months. So, I mean, I'm just like right now, I just think DDR5 is cheap anyway, whether it's brand new or it's used, especially used. So I'm just I've been picking up quite a bit of it. So why not? If it's, the price is always good, especially on the variation between parts. If motherboards are really cheap, go pick them up. If GPUs are really cheap, pick them up. Always balances out like that, and overall you'll be saving quite a bit of money on your flips. But right now, let's go scoot around, see this DDR5 deal, and then we will also come back and just sort of chill while we're out on the road and see if any other deals come back too. So now I just picked up the 32 gig kit of DDR5 memory, and using that with, especially like for instance, those i7 12700s. I still got a couple of those, so need DDR5 memory to couple with that. So that's two little bargains there. What I'm gonna do right now is actually just sort of where I'm at in this. Wow, it's kind of really dark. It just gets dark really quickly, but I'm just gonna quickly chill in this area. It's kind of in like the condensed city area, just see if any quick deals pop up. If not, we'll head back and we'll call it. We've also got to, you guys probably want an update on the market too, what the market's like. A lot of people have been messaging me about the market, like dropping off really suddenly. I'll talk about that really soon too. So we're now back at the studio. It's actually almost 9 p.m. Getting pretty sleepy, but I did test the parts that we just got. The 3060 works fine. The fan is a little bit noisy. We'll probably have to replace that. And I'll try pull it apart and change the paste and clean it all up. But it does sound like, usually you know with fans, whether the bearing's gone or not. If it's just a bit of dust trapped in there or the bearing's gone, it's usually making that scraping noise. So that's kind of like the noise it was making. And then we've got the 2 sticks of RAM that we got, they work fine. And then I just decided, I had dinner and then I decided, okay, I'll give this Maxim board another crack. And it's a weird one because I got to the point where it's like, okay, we can try and get a BIOS flash going here, but then it says secure boot violation or something. And to get around that, you have to disable the secure boot in the BIOS. And every time we get to the BIOS, it just freezes and locks up. Anyhow, the only way around this was if the board had BIOS flashback, which it doesn't, or you have to manually clip one of those BIOS external flashes on, given that the BIOS lock isn't on anyhow. So it's honestly one of those things where I'll probably just let the board go on its own for someone who maybe wants it on a budget, just at $50, but it works, but it's got an issue. A lot of buts there. Though with all that aside, we've got the tally, which we're going to show you guys right up here on the screen, where we came under 1,000 USD. When I looked at this tally, I was like, okay, we got 1,445 AUD of parts. And I think this is a lot of parts for the money here. I'm tallying this one up and I'm looking at everything we got. It's just so many PC parts this month. It's really good. Really happy, that's for sure. And I think for me personally, there's no contest. The best deal was that i9 9980XE. But there is a little extra element there, and I think that's because the other pieces in the motherboard combo, the motherboard and the RAM, are all budget and crazy good value too. So that's just like a budget lover's dream combo. So that one is easily on another level in terms of my favorite pick. But do let us know in the comment section below what was your favorite pick of this month. But let's quickly move on to now. I've been asked for like a lot of people, because I know a lot of people locally here who flip. Like it's kind of like a community at the end of the day. You do just get to know everyone who's been in the game long enough. And I getting asked a lot from a lot of different people. Like, is the market slowed down? Market's just like getting no messages. And a lot of people messaging, no messages on my ads. And I'm like, yeah, bro, it's me too. Like it's just some weeks you just it'll just be completely flat. I think it's a bit of variance. Sometimes Facebook can change their algorithms too, in terms of, like, especially if you're predominantly flipping on Facebook Marketplace, they can change their algorithms and it doesn't help you that much. I think, yeah, it's just one of those things that it's just a crappy season right now as well. I mean, especially next month with Black Friday, and then after that kind of starts to get a lot better going into Christmas. So right now is kind of like the calm before the storm, at least in my experience. So it'll pick up, especially around Christmas. So always prepare for the Christmas season if you're into flipping PC parts. However, one interesting thing is I'm seeing some of these higher end model cards now, like apparently 5080s, coming in around MSRP. So that's a bit of a surprise. I mean, the 5090, I don't think we'll ever see that thing at that MSRP. That thing's just always been crazy above MSRP, but at least it's good to see that apparently these GPU prices are coming down a bit. But I've also noticed locally here on the market, I mean, GPU prices just suddenly coming down a bit. So on the new side of things, so it's a pretty good sign. And hopefully coming into like Black Friday sales, there'll be some really good sales on graphics cards. But I do notice one thing, and that is before Black Friday, like actually right around this time, there are really good sales. So if you do see something that comes up just crazy cheap, just jump on it. And that's what I've noticed last year. And then the year before that, I was like, sometimes is it even worth waiting for Black Friday when you can just get these really good deals now? So if you just see something and you just know it's an extremely good price, I wouldn't hesitate to snap it up. Because a lot of times I've seen on Black Friday, pretty much like half the so-called deals, they're just like nothing special, just the same price as they were. Or even they've just put the price up and put like discounted and then put some crazy slash percentage there, and it ends up being roughly the same price anyway. But that's like half the so-called deals that I see. It's like this meme that I saw online, and it's just, yeah, the Black Friday meme. But right now I'm finding there actually are some really cool deals out there, so never be afraid to pass one up. But outside of that, in general, I'm seeing kind of like this hot inflation, at least in Australia, coming through. And especially if I look at, like, because I follow kind of precious metals pretty closely, and I'm just watching silver and gold and platinum, and they're starting to shoot. Like, they're starting to have a big push, which is kind of relating to what I'm seeing, at least in the real estate market here locally, where it's just absolutely insane. I have fixed my problem. That was one of the big problems. I have fixed that situation, but going out and looking at just the madness in Australia right now, at least on the Gold Coast here with the real estate market, it's crazy. It's insane. And then they're going to drop interest rates into this. It's like, why would you drop interest rates into this madness? So it's like, here's the fire, let's just pour fuel on it. And so that's what this situation is. Like, get ready, let's get ready, guys, for another crazy wave of inflation if they're going to drop interest rates, at least in Australia. So it's just like, yeah, things are looking really inflationary right now. And then you look at PC parts, that's not immune to inflation. So I was kind of surprised, like, we did this budget build just recently, and I was like, I just remember like 400 USD, even like 5 years ago, you could build like you didn't have to go around these avenues that I'm doing, like searching for all these crazy cheap deals here and there. You could just go on Amazon and get like a real solid under 400 USD PC. I just remember that. Get the case for cheap, power supply for cheap, get a new just on the shelf under $200 GPU, bang, CPU and all that. But now it's like, man, I'm really struggling to get a readily available $400 bill done. Anyway, ranted on enough. That's sort of like the market outlook at the moment. I think inflation is looking like it's ready to like start roaring up again. And if so, that'll start affecting PC parts again. And then also in terms of sales, it's just a low season right now. But also that said, definitely if you're looking for good deals, it's time to get good deals. And other than that, I will lead more into the personal life in a few weeks. Like I'll explain everything that's happened. It's got to do with potentially getting scammed, like like all the way from real estate to, it's a wild ride. It's been a wild ride, and I'm just so exhausted because most of it's over. Most of it all is over. And yeah, I can't wait to just I don't want to jinx myself too. So like once it's all done, everything's finito, dandito, I'm gonna give you guys a proper update. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Parts hunt, it's a lot more personal than the other videos too. So I like to add, well, we might as well just go a step further, add more personal in there. Why not? And yeah, do let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. And I'll catch you guys in another one very soon. Peace out for now. Bye.